My name is Sarah, and some of you know me as the Paris Quiz Mistress. I host trivia nights in Paris, and I'm a lifelong trivia addict. My obsession has led me to meet lots of cool and nerdy people from around the world, and this podcast is a chance to find out how my trivia pals got into this weird and wonderful world of quizzing, and why we continue to torture ourselves with it. So play along when we put our knowledge to the test and try to stump each other with our best zingers. Stay tuned for lots of trivia and nerdery. Let's geek out together. You're on my podcast.
Yeah.
Hi, welcome.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Loki, who are you?
I am.
Who the heck are you?
So my name is Lokesh. My friends call me Loki. I'm Indian. That's, I think, a big part of my identity. I've been living in France for the last 7 years. So that's also something who I am. It's a part of me. I'm an engineer. Or I was an engineer. So that's also something which is not too uncommon for Indians to be. So, who are you? I'm an engineer. Okay, what else?
What I want to know everything about your quizzing past, present, and future, if you can share.
Sure. So I think in terms of quizzing, I started when I was around 7 or 8 years old. So my dad... So when I was a kid, 3 or 4 years old, I used to read. I used to like reading newspapers. I used to like reading atlases, trivia books, and whatnot, not knowing what a quiz is, but just generally trying to understand, okay, this is the tallest mountain. Oh, it's cool. India is in Asia. Oh, cool. I don't.
Just being a sponge.
Just being a sponge, trying to absorb. My dad noticed this, and then he got me more books, more things to absorb. And in my school, there was a quiz competition when I was 8 years old.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it was the Maggi quiz competition. So Maggi is this instant ramen, a popular brand in India, and. In this competition, I was teamed up with my classmate, my friend, and we got to the finals, and I won it.
Yeah,
we won it. We won the finals of the Maggie quiz competition. So that's how I think my quizzing journey started, and not in small part due to the prize that they gave us for that quiz, winning that quiz. It was a book which was illustrated with facts and questions and whatnot, 1,000 fantastic facts and answers. That was the name of the book. Fantastic book. So that further fueled my, let's say, sponginess.
Good. Okay, so you're walking around with your sweet 1001 facts book.
Yeah.
You're the Maggie quiz champ.
Yeah.
What happens next?
It continues. So for the next year, this was 5th grade. The fourth grade was the first time I won it. And on the 5th grade, I did it again. So
wow, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So the Maggie Quiz Champ 1999 was also me. So, and that's how it started. And then I started going through all these quizzes. Quizzing was a big thing in India. I'm pretty sure Aditya might have given you a glimpse of what quizzing in India is like. So it's very competitive. There are a lot of students. Knowledge, quizzing, all of this is something that people are proud of. They test each other. They go attend these competitions. They participate in all these events, and it's a fun thing. So you had lots of these competitions within schools, among schools, at a district level, at a province level. So all of these things existed. It kind of, you just had to participate, and you had these buddies who you would meet only during quizzes. So from other schools, you see.
Yeah.
Just a legit activity, like any activity, like a gym. Yeah, people would do gymnastics, and they would meet buddies when they go into other schools. Just quizzing is an activity, is a hobby that you could actually legitimately practice in India as a student.
And can you do it as a career?
As a career, it's a little difficult, I would say, because there were, for example, the Indian version of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. There was one show, and there was also TV quizzes. You could potentially work as a question setter, a person who's doing the research. That could be one career option if you love quizzing for all of these big companies. As a quizzer, to have a career is quite difficult. I think nobody does it. You just have to, because I don't think the money's there yet to sustain yourself.
So it's not like professional gaming. I don't know. Yeah.
Not yet. No, I don't think so. And also, I don't imagine it would become that way, just because of the way the market is. It's a good side gig. It can get you a decent amount of pocket money, but I don't think you can depend on it for survival.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And so you were pretty into these competitions all throughout school.
Yeah.
And when you left school as well, or did you went to like a university level? Can you talk a little bit about that? What that kind of looks like?
Sure. In university, we had also quizzing among universities. Within universities, you had a quizzing club. So we had a quizzing club called ASQ, which is the Association of Serious Quizzers. Which
amazing.
Yeah, it was, and it of course it's an acronym. Yeah, ASQ, ASQ or ASQ, Association of Serious Quizzers. Not a bad
name.
Yeah, Serious Quizzers. Yeah, we knew it was tongue in cheek.
Yes,
of course. So that was our association. For quizzing, we had a bunch of people, 35 people. And we would run quizzes. We would basically do quizzes for other departments. So, for example, you had in a university all of your... I went to engineering school, so you had the mechanical engineering department, the electrical, electronics. You had all of these departments, and each department would have their own events on a certain time of the year. And to fill up these events, it would be a day or two... event for a day or two. They had all of these smaller events to fill it up with, I don't know, some kind of competitions, and quizzing would always be one of them.
Like a team building sort of.
Yeah, yes. So maybe you had 10 different kinds of events. One could be a specific technical thing. One could be a general thing. Quizzing would always be one of them, and they would use ASQ as consultants to run their quizzes. So basically, they would say, "Oh, hey, we have this quiz, and this is the prize money. And could you set up a questions? Could you run the quiz, basically?" Mm-hmm. So we would run these quizzes and just basically be consultants who are doing this for fun, and it would also help us. And we would also participate in other quizzes. So not every single quiz was run by ASQ because there were so many going around. Yeah, and we used to have our own events as well. For example, we had the biggest one of the college was called KRIA, which was an inter-college fest within colleges. So it was quite big. The prize money, prize pool is quite big as well. So we used to do those quizzes. There used to be 3 or 4 quizzes during this event called KRIA.
And could you remind me what was the event? What did you win when you were in the newspaper? You sent us you sent us a clipping a few months ago where you were... How old were you? Like
I was
20
17.
or something? Okay. You were in high school.
Quite young.
Okay. What was that? What was that all about?
Yeah.
You were some sort of like national champion of some sorts.
State champion. Yes.
State champion.
Yeah. So the province I come from is called Tamil Nadu. It's a southern state of India, the southernmost state of India, and we had the government of Tamil Nadu, the state. Sponsor these quizzes and for the entire state for schools. So you represented your school. And there were many levels, and the first level was within your school, second level was within schools in your district, third was within all the districts, and the final was the fourth round was the showdown with all the districts of the state. Mm-hmm. So this was the final of the state level competition conducted by the government, and we'd won it. So me and my classmate, my quiz buddy, and that's why we came on the papers. There was an interview done by the local newspaper, and it was quite
good. I mean, I remember being impressed because you got quite political, but I don't remember how.
Sure. Yeah, just talking about the fact that politics were not transparent and not 15 years ago.
You used your platform for
something.
Something.
Yeah. When you're 17, it's,
critiquing the government
policies and still do. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Excellent. And I think so. it's quite often that you're on a team of two in Indian quiz formats.
Yeah.
How does that work? Is it like, could you talk about a little bit about the format? Because for me, I said the first time I ever was sort of exposed to Indian style quizzing, I remember we were hanging out at our friend Venki's, and there were a couple of quizzes on that you could, send in answers, or I think maybe we were just playing them for fun.
Yeah.
And it was a format I'd never really seen before, and it's always like PowerPoint.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. The PowerPoint is what you saw was for the final part of the quiz. So in India, because they have so many participants in a quiz, you have to filter them out. So which we had two separate parts of the quiz. One is the prelim round, the preliminary round, where you had maybe 100, 200 teams of two. Let's say you have to filter them out. So you give them 20 questions. And these 20 questions are mostly trivia. Right, and then they write it down on a piece of paper.
Someone asks the questions with a microphone. Okay.
Yeah, someone asks the questions on a microphone, and these people write the questions down, the answers down, and then they hand in their papers.
But they're shorter.
Yeah.
Okay.
The questions that are asked in the prelim round are mostly trivia based.
Okay.
It's mostly to filter out the crowd and get the best teams, let's say, to the finals.
And then it gets to be like much more puzzling, sort of.
So let's say out of the 200 teams that participated, and you add up the top teams, and then let's say 6 or 8 teams, depending on the format of the quiz, go to the finals, and the finals is mostly on stage.
Okay.
It's more interactive, and that's where you see the PowerPoints come in. That's where you see, because you know that these teams are good.
Right.
And you can test them on really esoteric stuff. So I think also as a quiz master on the stage, when you have these, let's say 6 teams of 2 each or 3 each, depending, on the stage, you're running a show, and you have the participants who could not get in. You're running the show not just for the final teams on stage, but also for the audience.
Yep.
So you want it to be entertaining, so you don't want it to be too cryptic.
Okay.
So, and the style, the answers are easy, the questions are difficult. You see?
Well, yeah, that's the best trivia.
Exactly. That's what makes it interesting. And so we try to frame as complex questions to reach the same, let's say, bunch of answers, or something which people heard about but don't know this aspect of. So that's what you try to find out.
Okay. So it's sort of an art of overcomplicating like the front end of the
yeah you could say that. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, just burying the lead. And
exactly. So that's where and then you have various formats. It's not just, hey, I ask you a question and you give me the answer. There's a lot of innovation in how the teams answer. There's a lot of different kinds of rounds. It's complex. I don't know what's going on today, but because I'm sort of semi-retired from the scene.
Thanks for coming out of retirement to join me, by the way.
It's a pleasure. But when I was there, it was really exciting to go to a quiz, and the audience would always be engaged. So each time a question did not get answered by any of the 6 teams on stage, it would go to the audience, and the audience would many times crack the question that the seemingly best teams did not get. Mm-hmm. So that's fun, and many quizzes used to have these audience prizes. If you did get a question right, you would get a book. You would get a freebie.
Cool.
Incentivizes you to stick around.
Yeah, exactly. Nice. And you want to see who beat you.
Exactly. And you want to enjoy, and you probably want to also learn, or you're just curious. That's why you came to a quiz in the first place, right? You want to see, okay, what's the quality of the questions?
Yeah. Absolutely. And critique it.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, you say, I've seen this question, the last quiz. It's a repeat. And when there is this is also a thing in India. If there's a question which is fairly common, people will be like, oh, this is a repeat, And if a repeat goes to, let's say, another team, you're like, oh, fuming inside. That could have been me. It's such an easy question.
Yeah. What you mentioned that you were impressed with, like, sort of innovative round formats. Mm. What can you give me an example?
For example, there were different kind of connect rounds.
Yeah, those are always fun.
Yeah, they're nice. So you have, of course, connect, and then there's pounce. But I keep forgetting the rules of pounce.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think pounce was quite innovative. But
It's like stealing a question, basically.
something like that. Something like that. I keep forgetting the rules, but it's really interesting when you play it.
Yeah, it sort of it changes the style of the competition.
It makes it more dynamic, and there were of course buzzer rounds. The final rounds would most probably be buzzer rounds, most likely, and that's always exciting when you go for it. And then there's also sometimes not so fair play when you're ahead and you don't want your, let's say, the other teams to get. You just buzz and you get a negative point anyway, but you're far ahead. You're not giving the other teams a chance to win. So
so the question, if someone gets it wrong, it doesn't go forward, or?
Yeah, it doesn't go forward. The team which does give a wrong answer, sometimes it depends on the rules of the game, quiz per quiz, but sometimes it just dies with the team which buzzed getting a minus negative answer. Yeah, negative points.
Interesting.
So all these kinds of things. It's a dynamic world. It's a universe into itself.
And so I know you're semi-retired, as you said. Do you keep up with quizzing at all, or do you just remain, a curious, spongy guy?
I think the second, the latter. I don't do competitive quizzing, but it's always interesting to just keep learning, because that's I think the engine which just pushes you, and I think quizzing is just the application of that pursuit. Yeah.
Is there a reason you stopped?
I think not necessarily a specific reason, but I think I enjoy more the knowledge gathering rather than putting it in okay, I know more than you. I'm not saying that quizzing is I know more than you know more than me, but I feel to a certain extent, yes. So I don't want to be tested on my knowledge. I just like to learn and maybe just say a tidbit here and there when I see, hey, did you know?
You're a really good guy to have at parties, because full of tidbits.
Full of tidbits trivia. Then they're like, I didn't know this.
But it's always like interesting.
Absolutely, yeah. So it's like you can take a quizzer out of quizzing, but not the quizzing out of the quizzer. So
exactly, you have to give into it sometimes.
Exactly, yeah.
And speaking of which, I think you're about to give into it right now.
Absolutely, looking forward.
So I would like to invite you to quiz me first, because I feel like that's polite. Loki, I believe you have some questions for me.
I do.
I'm very nervous.
No need to be. It's going to be quite easy. Let's start with an easy one.
Okay.
It's an etymology question.
Oh, I like it. I like these.
It's what we call possibly a sitter. A sitter is an easy question.
Okay.
Possibly, you never know, but that's always subjective.
Well, pressure's on.
Right. So this Japanese word literally means empty orchestra. What is this good word?
Karaoke.
You're right.
Yay.
And did you know that the OK of the karaoke, what it means?
Is that, it's either empty or orchestra?
It's a corruption of the word orchestra. So OK is orchestra.
Okay.
Kara is empty and OK is orchestra.
Because there wasn't a word for orchestra in Japanese,
it's so it was a
borrowed
word.
Okay. Ooh.
And of course, kara te is empty hand. So that's also
exactly.
the same
empty.
Same root word kara. So yeah, that's my first question. So yeah, you want me to continue? More questions?
I would love for you to continue.
Sure.
You got any more sitters for me?
Let's see. Okay, yeah. If you are in front of a Snellen chart or a Logmar chart, which place are you most likely to be in?
Oh, I think this is... So in front of...
You are sitting in front of a Snellen chart or a Logmar chart.
So I think the phrasing leads me to think that it might be like an ophthalmologist.
You're right. So you're sitting in front of an ophthalmologist's chart to test your visual acuity. And the Snellen chart was the first chart with you. If you see the pyramid-shaped chart where the biggest letter is on the top, and then it becomes smaller, but the length becomes broader. And the Logmar chart is a more modern creation where they felt that in the Snellen chart you had one letter on the first row, then 2 or 3 in the second, then 4 or 5 in the third. And it wasn't a reliable way to measure visual acuity. For example, if there are 5 letters and they're small in the Snellen chart, if you got 3 out of 5, you would still pass.
Okay.
So if you got 3 out of 5, you would have a 20 or 20 vision. And
Okay.
if you got lesser, you'd get... so it wasn't really accurate.
Okay.
Because it's not standardized. And the logmar chart was introduced where you had... It's the reverse pyramid, but each row has 5 letters.
Okay.
So it's more consistent, and
Yeah,
you
that
can
makes
measure
sense.
it with more scientific manner. But because the Snellen chart has been around forever, doctors, ophthalmologists usually memorize the sequence of these, and they refuse to change to the logmar charts.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Lazy.
Yeah.
Did you have to do a vision test when you went to the OFI to like validate your like visa?
I think so. Yes, I did.
Many times, right?
Yes. Yeah.
many visas over the years.
Absolutely.
So I always remember having to convince them that my vision was fine, but my French was really bad.
Yeah. True.
And I'm like, is it a, u, no, I, no, me, I, no, me, like,
Yeah.
and it was just, I just didn't know my vowels very well, but I could see them.
Yeah, I just don't know how to say them. You reminded me of something which happened to me 3 days ago. I was at the ophthalmologist.
Oh, yes.
And I got all of these right, the letters on the Snellen chart.
Good job, Loki.
And then
You passed the quiz.
I passed the Snellen chart test, and then she said something. She got a pen in front of my eyes, and then she said something in French. I didn't pay attention. I'm like, okay, let's. She took it to my right eye, left eye, left eye, and then she's like, oh, you need more. You need to re-educate something. I said, what? She's like, no, you're not able to focus. I said, maybe it's because I don't understand. I didn't understand what I was supposed to do.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah, and then I think I did it, and then she was like, yeah, okay.
How many misdiagnoses are there based on
It's tricky.
misunderstandings? Yeah.
Language gaps.
Yep.
Okay, great. 2 on 2. So let's
dear.
continue.
Can only go downhill from here.
So, until 1991, this was the only country in the world whose name started with an A, but did not end with an A.
Ooh, that's very good. Because it's true, they often do.
Yeah.
Country. I guess I could just start naming them.
Sure.
Angola, Armenia, no. Australia,
Keep
no. Argentina, no.
Keep going.
Aruba, no.
No. It's the first. I can give you a clue. It's the first country in the list of countries. Alphabetically.
Albania, no. It's AB.
Keep
No,
going. No.
it's an A. C. AA.
Keep going. No. You can keep going further.
AG.
No, just keep going further. You're close.
Add AE.
No,
AE.
keep going. Yeah, the next one.
Afghanistan.
Yes, correct. Afghanistan is the correct answer.
Oh my gosh.
You got it.
Oh, thanks for the coaching.
No, for sure. And there's a bonus question.
Ooh.
I said until 1991.
Oh.
After 1991, another country got added to this list. What is that country?
Oh.
And you know what happened in 1991? Seismic.
Oh,
level.
the USSR
Yes.
broke up.
Yes.
They had a bad breakup.
Sure.
So that must mean that it's over there somewhere.
Sure. And you started out with an A, E, A, F. Just go to the end.
Azerbaijan.
Exactly. You got it.
Thank you.
I didn't want this to be a S, A, T, A.
That doesn't really make for good listening.
Yeah, sure. You got it.
Thank you.
Okay. So moving on. Next question. Consisting of 14 million people, this African megacity is the biggest French-speaking city in the world. Which city?
French speaking.
Yep.
Mega city.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when you said African mega city, I went Lagos. But Lagos is,
Yeah.
well, colonized by the English.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
not French speaking.
No.
Is it Accra?
No. It's, I would say, go center of Africa, the heart of Africa.
I don't know. I don't really know many African cities. Do I know this city?
Probably.
I
It starts
should.
with a K.
Oh, Kinshasa.
Exactly.
Kinshasa.
Yeah.
Yes. I do know. I know Kinshasa.
Yeah.
Because well, you might have a follow-up question about it.
I don't know.
Okay.
No, you can go ahead.
So I can
Yeah.
just to show you, I do know things.
That's good.
Kinshasa and Brazzaville, the two most geographically proximate world capitals.
World capitals. Yes, I've heard of this fact. Great.
I always ask that one, and people get really mad that it's not Rome and Vatican City, and I'm like, no technicalities.
No. So, another etymology question.
Okay.
Originally referring to the inscriptions on the walls of Pompeii, the name of this art movement originates from the Italian word for scribble.
Ooh. I think I had this recently in a quiz. So I'm thinking of, okay, what's art that's on walls? The first thing I was thinking was like fresco. But I believe the correct answer is graffiti.
Perfect. Right answer.
Came back to me. It came back to me in the same way it did when I answered it previously.
Good one.
A couple months ago.
Good one.
Finally.
Super. So, next question. The first varieties of this fruit arriving in Europe from Mexico in the 16th century were golden in color, leading them to be called golden apples. Which fruit am I talking about?
Golden apples.
They were called golden apples.
Sounds like a prize. I mean, the first thing I thought was avocado. Is that not?
No, yellow in color. Yeah, maybe not.
I don't know. I
Oh,
mean,
maybe
now
it could be.
everything has been like bred down to like one breed. What? It's not breeds. It's variety.
True. But
So
yeah,
we don't
also
have-
Mexico kind of puts you in that trajectory.
Yeah. So, and something that could be similar to an apple-ish, enough for
Yeah.
Europeans to have a reference point.
Potentially.
Was it a pear?
It's a trick question in a sense that I'm calling it a fruit.
Was it a tomato?
Yes.
Okay.
The tomato is the correct answer. And what's interesting is that the reason tomato is called pomodoro in Italian literally means pom de oro, golden apple.
That was another etymology question.
Yeah, exactly. I love etymology and geography, so it's going to be
I think,
pretty much
yeah,
that.
those are your factoids.
Exactly, yeah.
Those are your go-to factoids.
Absolutely easy and interesting as well.
Very interesting.
So, yeah.
Pomodoro, of course. Yeah,
Pomodoro.
makes sense.
So yeah, next question. Many historians believe that the French mathematician Blaise Pascal unwittingly introduced this game on his search to invent a perpetual motion machine. Which game am I talking about?
Game. Perpetual motion.
Yes.
So, Blaise Pascal invented a perpetual motion game, or laid the groundwork for its invention. Well, I was thinking about the it's not really a game, but you know those balls that people have on their desks that when you hit the last one,
When you hit
aren't
the
those
last-
called, then the first one goes and it just keeps going back and forth, but that's named for somebody else, I think.
I think it's not named for, maybe it's not, let's say, an etymology question.
No, I know, but I'm just thinking of things
sure.
that don't stop moving.
Yeah, it's you're kind of getting there. It does involve a small ball which keeps moving.
Wow. Pac-Man?
I think you're veering off track. But it's a
Oh, is it pinball?
you're kind of getting the vibe of the answer, but getting there.
Okay, so not pinball, but similar.
Perpetual, a ball moving around.
Is it that that wooden like labyrinth thing? No, that's not it.
The game I'm talking about, I'm pretty sure it's not a esoteric thing. It's a very common kind of thing. Everybody has heard about it. And maybe not many have played it, but everybody's heard about it for sure.
It's not like air hockey. I'm like thinking of arcade things.
Yeah, but I think when you said
Is it an
pinball,
arcade?
When you said pinball, no, not arcade, but it is. You can spot it in a place where there's money involved.
Money involved. It's not pool.
People playing with their money.
So it's a gambling. Oh, is it roulette?
Yes.
Oh.
So it's the roulette.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's the right answer.
Have you ever played roulette?
No.
Me neither.
So yeah, but you've heard of it.
Yeah, I have heard of it.
Yeah. So that's that question.
That is that question.
Yep. Let's go to the next question. Which sporting strategy was introduced in 1894 when American football player Paul Hubbard saw that the other deaf team was stealing his place when he was signing to his team? This strategy is now popular in most team sports today, not just American football.
I mean, is it just like signing plays?
No, but it's a strategy that you would. No, it's not signing. Go ahead.
Would you? I mean, it's not. It wouldn't be.
It's not just restricted to let's say a deaf team. It's restricted. It's pretty much done in most team games.
No, I know, but like having like visual signs, like hand motion clues, or like doing fake ones, or making them really complex so the other team couldn't get them.
Good guessing.
I know this is a really big thing in baseball.
Right, yeah.
And like there's a lot of
fake signing going on.
There's a lot of fakes, and then there's also like really strict rules. Or no, there was like a tennis controversy recently where someone was making, like a coach was motioning to the player.
Yeah, I think that was Serena Williams and coaching moments. Yeah. So this one, it's in team games, and it's to prevent people from seeing what you are saying or signing to your team.
Oh, would it be a huddle?
That's right. The huddle.
Huddle.
The huddle was invented in 1894 to Invented because you didn't want the other deaf team. You would just sign to your team and they would see it. So they just huddled around. They gathered around and they were signing to each other. So that's when the huddle was born.
Cool.
Yeah. So that's something which was like, wow. When I read about the origin of the huddle, I was like, wow, this is a great piece of trivia.
The huddle was born. That's funny.
It was invented.
I thought penguins invented the huddle.
Yeah. Although penguins, difficult for them to sign.
Well, I
guess they can.
They can communicate.
Yeah. Super. So, last question of my round.
Ooh. Mm-hmm. Wow.
Okay. It could be a long one.
Okay.
It's got X's and Y's, just
yes.
in PowerPoints. All right. So, next question.
Here we go. X's and Y's.
X and Y, the last question. X, a self-proclaimed mystic, and Y, a singer and performer, both died in St. Petersburg, both on December 30th, although on different years. X died on December 30th, 1916, and Y died on December 30th, 2010. A 1978 song connects the two. Identify X and Y.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
1916 and 2010. A mystic. So I'm guessing the mystic was 1916 because there's not a lot of mystics.
Yeah.
And there weren't a lot of pop stars in 1916. So
exactly.
I'm going to go pop star 2010, mystic in 1916.
Yeah.
Both died in St. Petersburg. And a song connects them. I'm trying to think of who died. So I'm trying to think of what pop stars could have died in 2010.
But think about St. Petersburg in 1916. What was happening?
Some gulags?
Something was happening in St. Petersburg in 1916. A big seismic.
Was it the Russian Revolution? Yeah. Something like that?
Yeah. And X, self-proclaimed mystic. Holy man.
No.
Yeah, you know it. You know him. Self-proclaimed holy man in St. Petersburg.
I mean, is it St. Peter?
No. In Russia in 1916, advising.
Oh, is it Rasputin?
Okay. And Y and X is Rasputin. You're right.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you got.
Ding, ding.
A 1978 mega hit song.
I mean, Ra Ra Rasputin.
And
the Russian queen.
Yeah, performed by band. It's a band.
Yeah, I know this song.
Yeah. So yeah, of course you know the song, but the band.
The band is 1979.
78.
Oh, with Boney M.
Yes. And I mean, it's difficult to get the name of Y. I'm just going to give it to you. It's Bobby Farrell.
Okay.
So Bobby Farrell is the guy who performed the song and sang the song.
Oh, I was going, when you said pop star, I thought woman.
Yeah. But,
I don't know why.
Okay. So yeah, they both died in St. Petersburg on the same day.
Wow.
Yeah, he was Bobby Farrell. And I think Bobby Farrell had a tough time with his rights for the song, for the band and whatnot, because Boney M, I don't know if you do know, it's was run by this German dude.
Yeah, I knew they were German.
Yeah, so he was basically composing and kind of owning all the rights, and these people were just paid performers, the singers.
Oh, interesting.
And
so they were like gig people.
Basically, just the face, because he wanted some kind of ethnic touch to the music that they were doing. So Bobby Farrell got screwed by this German dude because he didn't get his due. He was living in the Netherlands, basically poor, because he didn't get his credits and royalties and whatnot. But due to a legal loophole, he was able to perform as Boney M.
Okay.
But Bobby Farrell's Boney M.
Interesting.
So he started doing gigs, and he started singing again, performing again. And into 2010, when he was, I think, 65 years old, he was supposed to perform in St. Petersburg and died on the same day and the same city as Rasputin.
That is very interesting.
Yeah, so that is a fact that blew my mind. And
that's pretty good.
So,
that's a good one.
Thanks.
What's Rasputin's deal? I mean, I really just know from the song, but was he a bad guy? Was he a good guy?
I think he had a lot of influence over the Tsars.
Okay.
And because of this, all of these politics going on, you had people trying to assassinate him. I think he survived 3 assassination attempts. People trying to poison him and whatnot, and he would refuse to die. So I think it kind of built this element of the story, mystical, mythical kind of a thing. And even though I don't know much about the guy, I'm pretty sure a movie is coming out at some point,
or will be remade.
So that's pretty much Rasputin,
cool.
Lover of the Russian queen.
Yes, cool. Now we know.
Yeah, now we know.
I liked his. It was all variations on a theme, but it was a really good theme. Solid.
Thanks.
And that is the end of part 1 of this episode with Loki. Stay tuned soon for part 2. That is all for this episode. If you want more trivia from me, you can follow Paris Quiz Mistress on Instagram or Facebook. You can also sign up for my newsletter. You can come play along with one of my live quizzes, either virtually or at the pub, whichever the current moment calls for. And until next time, stay nerdy and keep quizzing.